I don't know what I gotta do here. These are available. These grommets go in here for the sparkle plug wires, but they're rather expensive online. One thing I'm doing is maybe making them on a 3D printer. Problem with that is I don't own a 3D printer. So that could slow that down. Hey, welcome to a new episode of Stumpy's Yoga Studio. We're going to do a couple things today, but I'm going to kick right off here by showing you what I created in Fusion 360 for a 3D design of the grommets. I found these grommets. I found the grommets this car will require. A couple places carried them year one, and there's a seller on eBay, but the prices for them, they're just ridiculous. I think at one point I was dealing between between $8 and $20 a grommet, and I needed 8 of these, so I wasn't too enthused to spend that kind of money. It was going to look like it was going to cost like $180 Canadian to get them up here, and with that price point, I figure, well, there's no harm in trying to create my own. So with a free hobbyers license with Fusion 360, I watched a couple of YouTube videos from this guy named Lars, and basically came up with the first iteration while watching the Super Bowl a couple weeks ago, and then got in contact with a guy in Calgary who does 3D printing for hire, and for $60 he printed me a bunch of prototypes, and from those prototypes I could refine my design and came up with a more simple version of what I created. My first version was going to latch on itself and close like the original ones did, but an active hinge in the Fusion 360 is not something that's immediately easy to create it for a newbie. So also the tolerances, having created the grommet together and have the latch, have the print with the latch closed, there's not enough tolerance between the latch and the edges to print them separately, because there's, I guess the tolerance that he was dealing with on his printer about 0.4 of a millimeter. And I'm not sure if that's true of every printer, but in this case, it was more that we could deal with. So I basically did a second prototype and simplified it without a latch, just a round grommet that I could put on there. And the upside to this, well, the only reason I could do this is because I was assembling my spark plug wires the same night. So being that I could route the spark plug wires through the grommet and then crimp the end with a boot and everything was the way I could do this. Now, this is going to be a problem if I have to replace spark plug wires. I'm going to have to pull them apart, but for my first iteration, version 1, I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. I'd like to do a different print down the road. I'd also like to get my own 3D printer, so I'm not listening to somebody else tell me what I can and cannot do. I'd rather know. I'd rather not be on the hook for paying somebody else to print these off for me and get some develop my knowledge in this space. But I'm for 1/3 of what I was looking at buy other places. I am ahead of the game, and I've shared these with a few other people, and they're available in a worker space for the price. I'm pretty happy with these, and they look excellent on the car. The original ones would be kind of tinted green, I guess. These are just a plain white. But yeah, this turned out very well. I'm pretty happy with that.
Right, I guess this is it. Let me give you a second here to call the neighbors and wake the kids because, folks, it's broadcasting history. Paul, get ready. Ladies and gentlemen, Zippy and the late night monkey cam. Zippy, come on out here, buddy.